Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's...
What the fuck is going on? He's laughing. He's not oriented. Like, did you smoke pot before we came in here?
It's June 3rd. It's June 3rd, 1999. I was trying to figure out what the day was today.
Holy shit.
I was going back to the last day I remember. I don't write the date often in my job. I'm sorry.
Okay. Whatever.
It's June 3rd, 1999, everyone. And we watched an episode of 90210. It's emphasizing something I don't have. Survival skills.
Okay.
Is the name of the episode. That seems like kind of a slap in the face to one character in particular. Survival skills.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what that's in reference to. Do you ever stop, Carol, and think about what 90210 used to be? Mm-hmm. And where it is now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even just the different characters that we have, the Ginas of the world, the Matts of the world, the Noahs of the world. But, like, remember there was an episode where Brenda met this guy at a club or whatever, and he was like, oh, he's so much older than me.
Yeah, it was like a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, where's that?
I've got to call him from the payphone outside of school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, like, they're older now or whatever, the show's evolved, but I don't know. What did you think of this episode?
I actually enjoyed the episode.
Really?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Now,
There were things I liked about the episode, I guess, but I don't know. I rolled by eyes at a lot of shit.
Okay. What did you roll your eyes at?
Mostly Steve's storyline, probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Steve, I kind of block that out when I think about 90210 because it's so, like, it doesn't fit. It's so slapstick, like, everything to do with him and Janet. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Where do you want to start, Carol?
Well, I guess let's start there.
Dealer's choice.
So Steve and Janet are, for some reason, taking, I'm assuming for a paper story. I don't know.
I thought it was like, no, I think it was for some organization, like a youth outreach organization.
Yes, but I thought they were doing it because they're writing an article.
I thought they were just volunteering, but
just trying to be nice people.
But maybe they're doing it for a story. I don't know. They're resurrecting a plot from the TV show Airwolf, which ironically starred Jason Priestley, or guest starred Jason Priestley. This episode of Airwolf. There was an episode of Airwolf with teens at youth, and they were like, we're going to help these teens at youth by taking them camping. But, Jason Priestley's grandfather got out of prison, and he's a mobster, and he wants to bring him into the family? It was weird. And then the Airwolf helicopter has to fight or whatever.
Oh, okay. So the only actual similarity is that they take these kids on a camping trip.
Yeah. And instead of, like, a bunch of racial stereotypes, it's just two kids. It's a goth girl and, I don't know, a skater boy.
Yeah, I don't know. He was more generic boy, but...
Generic boy.
Janet's all about, like, we got to do this camping thing for real, be rustic about it, not take any, hardly any money.
Like, I've got money, I've got credit cards, and she's like, we take one gas card and one $20 bill.
Like, what does it matter? Like, have it in case you need it, you idiot.
Yeah, have you ever heard the phrase, be prepared?
Right. And so they get set up at this campground, and then they see a bear.
Yeah.
No, I was impressed. Steve said, "Go get to the car slowly," and he stayed ahead of the woman and the children.
Yeah.
So, that was very brave of him.
Do you think it would have been scarier if they encountered a strange man in the woods or that strange bear?
Well, probably since Steve was there, it would be a lot less scary to see a strange man than a strange bear. Whereas if it was just Janet or Janet and the kids even.
I don't know. I'll tell you. I know what that bear's doing in the woods. I don't know what some strange dude's doing in the woods.
What are they doing in the woods? Maybe they're all camping. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so it's a black bear, I believe. It was a black bear.
Yeah, it was one of those smaller.
Yeah,
bears.
not a grizzly. So you get big and everything, which it looked like he was kind of doing. I was thinking, like, is Steve gonna like scare this bear away, and then Jan's gonna be like, "Oh my god, my hero."
Well, no, that did not happen.
No.
The bear made them all his bitch by climbing on top of the car and eating their food that was left sitting on the car.
He's and looking at them while he's doing it, like, what the fuck you think of this, huh?
And somehow that's Steve's fault, according to Janet.
Janet was being a real asshole in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, you gave up on this camping trip, and I can't believe you left the food on the car. What was he supposed to think of everything when the bear appeared?
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
I mean, he stood between you and danger.
Yeah.
And he's doing the trip the way you want, so shut up.
Yeah, it's really messed up. He does say something like, I'm I know you're mad or whatever that you had sex with me when you thought we were going to die, and that we had sex when you thought I was going to die. And she was like, no, you had sex. I was on a mission of mercy.
Yeah, that was awful.
Like, wow, thanks a lot.
Yeah, she is really being awful.
I guess she's upset, but like, I don't understand their weird, stupid dynamic.
No.
It really pisses me off. Like, he has... I don't know what happens off screen. I don't know if the writers know what happens off screen. I don't know if in rehearsals, like, Steve and Janet are just doing things that we haven't seen, and they're just part of the lore of the show then. But it's like they sleep with each other, and it's like, oh, they're together, and then next it's like, oh, I'm going on a date and everything. It's like, okay, what the fuck happened? Like, there's no resolution to that. Oh, they had sex again when her date didn't work out or whatever. Oh, but they're not together. But they're not dating each other or other people. But they're not together. But then Steve seems like he's dying, so then they have sex again. And it's like, oh, but they're not together because he danced with some models? Like,
right.
What the fuck?
I don't get it. So then, like, Steve's trying to make a fire with these matches. She brought matches instead of a lighter. He's pissed about that.
I don't understand why, if you're being rustic, you can have matches, but you can't have a lighter.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh my gosh! Oh no!
What the hell?
It was that sneeze. But
it starts to rain.
It does.
So
right on his fire.
So they go run to the car because it's pouring rain.
Mm-hmm. Well, that car was their savior for the entire trip, by the way.
And at that point, I think he suggested going to a hotel.
Something like that. Before this, though, the teens apparently like each other. They were bickering a little bit or whatever, but then they caught them making out.
Yeah. And
it's like, it's hi, I'm generic guy. Hi, I'm goth girl. And like, what would goth girl sound like?
I don't know. Continue.
Well, you have experience with goth.
I don't do voices.
So do goth girl.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
So it's just your voice. Okay. So anyway, they start having a conversation. Steve and the boy and Janet and the girl about relationships and stuff, and they start talking about each other.
Yeah,
even though they don't say by name. And
the kids ask them at one point, like, "Have you guys had sex?" Like, it's obvious something's going on.
Yeah, it's a weird question to ask. Though.
It would only work coming from young kids. Mm-hmm. But.
How old do you think those kids are supposed to be?
16.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, not that young.
Yeah, not that young, but not that old yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I think Steve's like, I don't remember him saying, I don't know if it was another one of those things that happens off screen, or if he says, hey, let's go to a hotel. But they end up at a hotel because it's pouring rain. And
she's mad about it and yelling at him that he gave up. Like, what was he supposed to do?
Yeah, like, do you really want to, sleep on wet ground in a wet tent?
Apparently.
In the rain?
And so the kids are in the hotel room. Oh, by the way, they left the teenage kids alone in the hotel room.
That's what I thought, too. I was like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's
teenage kids you've already seen kissing.
That is not good chaperoning.
Yeah.
He's like, they're in separate beds, by the way. Like, that does not make it okay. They can move. They're not chained to the bed.
Exactly.
So
maybe one of them is now.
And Janet's like, this is supposed to help me get over you. Or something.
Yeah. She's like, how can I get over you when you're always in my face or whatever? And she's like, she said something else too. Like, this was my idea. This trip was my idea. And then you had to horn in on it. And she's like, how can I get over you when you're always in my face?
He's like, I'm in your face because I like it. Which was a good response.
Yeah. And they start making out.
I'm pretty sure they had sex in the car, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the next morning, the kids come out. They find them sleeping there or whatever. They knock on the door. She uses her toe to push the power window button. He says, like, oh, good toe work or something like that. It's kind of funny. And she says, looks like somebody, what did she say, get it on?
Yeah, or finally. Yeah.
It was like a weird phrase where I was like, oh, that's like 5 years too late. But
it's coming from the middle-aged writers. So.
It was, yeah, that's true. But it was something like that. It was get it on or like, I don't know. But they were like, yeah, finally. I'm generic guy. And so then they're like, we'll be with you in a minute. And they start talking. And then it's the same old fucking story where Janet's like, oh, this was a mistake. And like, when we get home, blah, 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 blah.
She said, you know the routine. We, we get dressed, we rally. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what she said,
But Steve cuts through the bullshit, finally.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, okay. I want to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah, and he just kind of like attacks her and kisses her, and he's like, "No, we're gonna be in a relationship now."
So, I hope finally this is settled.
It seems like she's really scared of him hurting her, like really, really scared of that. So, I hope he doesn't. But
me too. I hope they just are together and happy.
Yeah, I hope they stop being mean to each other.
That would be nice.
Because it's like part of the way they communicate, and that's not going to be an effective relationship.
No. Not everyone can be the Bickersons.
No. Well, we'll see how it goes.
I mean, that comic strip's been going for a while, but that's a hard line to skirt,
Right.
What else is going on?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Let's take a little break then. So you can sleep.
Hey, ladies, are you looking to level up your man's summer grooming game? Well, look no further than our friends at Manscaped. Get him ready to flaunt that beach body with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, the secret sauce for that perfect beach babe look. With our exclusive offer...
Got the secret sauce.
Yeah, he does. Visit manscaped.com, use code LATEFEE20.
Yes, you got it.
All right. And enjoy 20% off plus free shipping. Don't let him be the only one at the beach missing out on smooth sack summer. Show him some love and upgrade his grooming routine with Manscaped. Okay, ladies. I got to tell you, we were gifted some of these products. And they're amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of just leveled up our game.
Yeah.
And... they didn't even say to say this, but, I've used it too, and it works well for me too. So, ladies can use this.
It makes your clitoris look larger too.
Dear Lord, why would you say that? Oh my God, now I'm never going to use it again.
No, I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking.
I'm traumatized.
Do you know how they say if you shave a guy for shaves, that it makes his penis look
Yes,
bigger?
I know the joke.
It was a joke based on that. It's not real, ladies.
But anyway, they've got like this nice deodorant stuff that makes it smell good, and they even have like other products like for the nose trimming and
nose trimming, ear trimming.
Ladies, you might use that stuff too.
Yeah.
So
I have a veritable forest.
Not anymore.
No. Now
it's all gone. Now
it's a barren wasteland.
It's a nice even meadow.
Now it looks like McDonald's went through there and leveled and slashed and burned the whole thing.
Oh my God!
So they can have cow farms or whatever they do to the Brazilian rainforest.
Wow. Okay. So get 20% off and free shipping with code LATEFEE20.
Yes.
At manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code LATEFEE20 at manscaped.com. Trust me, ladies, it's a gift for you before it's a gift for him.
Okay, Carol. So what storyline do you want to go to next?
All right, let's talk about Matt and his wife.
Matt and his wife. All right.
So they got some bad news, and this seems unlikely, but, who knows?
I did some research on the internets. I went to a doctor forum.
Okay.
And I'll tell you about it, but go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so she's told by the doctor that her white blood cell count is down, so she has to stop taking the clozapine.
Yeah, clozapine.
Yeah, clozapine, yeah.
It's weird because she doesn't like it. It has to be really down,
right?
Because she doesn't present it that way. She's just like, oh, my white blood cell count's down. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, so I have to stop taking the drug. And he's like, wait, what? What the fuck?
Yeah, because apparently it will cause her, according to the doctor, to go into aplastic anemia and die.
Yeah. Which is something associated usually with radiation sickness, radiation poisoning. That's what Marie Curie and her daughter, I think, died of from exposure to radium that she discovered.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, having a low white blood cell count, I think, makes you vulnerable to infection, which could cause you to die, but that, I don't know.
Yeah, aplastic anemia is a different kind of anemia. It's associated more with white blood cell count. Like I said, it's heavily associated with radiation sickness because one of the things that radiation does is destroys your white blood cell count. That's why when you get cancers and stuff, like when you get different kinds of cancer, and one of the things they do is radiation, because there's something called, what the hell is it called? Something syndrome. I can't think of it, but it's there's a syndrome that you get sometimes when you have cancer, where your immune system attacks, an autoimmune reaction where your immune system attacks a part of your body because it has cancer, right? So one of the things they do to help get rid of cancer is they do the radiation, which gets destroys the cancer. It also destroys your immune system too. So you have to be very, if you get total body radiation, you have to be very careful of getting infections.
Yeah. So she freaks out and says, I want to keep taking the medicine. I'm not going off of it.
And he's like, well, we'll talk to the doctor and see what the doctor says and everything. And they go see the doctor.
And the doctor says that if she keeps taking the medicine, she has probably only a couple of weeks to live.
Yeah, because
maybe a couple months.
It's just going to continue to destroy her white blood cell count, and then she'll get some opportunist infection and die. And she was like, I don't care. I'm still taking the medication. The doctor's like, yeah, I'm not going to prescribe you a medication that's going to kill you. Sorry.
Yeah, they were like, no doctor will prescribe it to you.
Which seems correct.
Right. But she's like, I don't care. I'm going to do it. I don't want to go back to, having to be in a facility or whatever. And apparently they're saying she has only a couple of weeks off the meds before she's going to go, complete psychotic again. Yeah. How can they anticipate that? I don't feel like that's as easy as a medical thing, right, to say, hey, you're for sure going to lose it within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that I have no idea. That did seem like TV writing, for convenience sake. Hey, you're only on the show for a couple more weeks, so we're going to wrap this up. The aplastic anemia thing, it's very rare, but it is apparently a thing that can happen with this medication.
Well, yeah, and he said it's 1% of the population is schizophrenia, or 1%.
That's what he said. I'm not sure if that's
correct. I don't know, but that's what he said.
Seems correct, I guess.
And 2% of those people get this reaction to this medication. So she, got the short end of the stick or whatever.
Twice, yeah. She won the lottery twice in a bad way.
Right.
But, it's, it's one of those things that can happen.
But this wraps up weirdly with him saying to her,
yeah, I don't know exactly what's going to go on with
he's going to get her that medication no matter what.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go to Venice. And she's excited and happy. And, oh, Matt, thank you. He's telling you he's going to help you commit suicide.
Yeah, exactly.
So that you don't have to be crazy anymore. And he doesn't have to be married to you anymore, by the way.
It is kind of convenient for him, too. I was worried that they were going to have a convenient way to wrap all this up so he could go back with Kelly. And it seems like this is what they're doing.
It's not convenient, but that is what they're doing.
It's not, I mean, it's convenient as far as a story goes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to make a choice. That's the thing, is like if she dies or if she goes irrevocably crazy, he doesn't have to make a choice. But like you said, I don't know that they understand schizophrenia really well in this show. And I don't like I said, timeline-wise, I don't think they can really know.
Yeah.
And you're telling me there's nothing else? This is the only medication that has any effect at all.
I mean, there are a lot of, schizophrenics in facilities that aren't functioning, and,
this medication just doesn't touch it, huh?
Yeah, so, I mean, if she's tried everything else, which is, I think, what she said, then, I think it is possible. But yeah, so either way, they only have a couple weeks together, whether she's going to die or go crazy.
It's a fucked up situation, though, Carol.
Yeah.
Like, put yourself in that position.
His position or her position?
Her position.
Okay.
Where it's like, you remember what it's like to be, fucking off your rocker, and it's torture, right?
Right.
And it's like that, or you die. Like, I don't know what I would choose either. It would be difficult.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd probably do what she's doing, but...
I mean, yeah, it's, as messed up as it is, it's like... Can't she, live in a bubble or something like that? What? Like now they have the boys in the bubble and stuff like that. Can't she be a bubble girl where she just lives in a bubble or whatever? Or can't they, okay, here's a question, and I didn't do research on this, but, can't they stop the medication for a while and then start it back up again? And then stop it for a while and start it back up again?
I mean, obviously, if they could do that, they would do that. I mean, and we gotta work within the show here because we're discussing the show and not the science.
I guess that's true. Yeah, we're not breaking apart whether or not they're 100% medically accurate on this show.
Yeah. So the parameters given. Mm-hmm. The current plan is suicide and second honeymoon.
Yeah, suicide and honeymoon in Venice. Can we afford that? Doesn't matter.
No, he said...
You won't see the bill.
He said no. He also said he took out a brand new credit card to pay for it.
Shiny new credit card.
He's going to just do life up for the couple weeks they have together.
You know what? I'll tell you what, though. If that was... God forbid we're ever in that situation like that. But if we were in that situation, that's what I would do.
Yeah. Give her the best couple weeks of her life.
Absolutely. Might as well.
He looks real depressed.
Yeah. I know he loves Kelly or whatever, but I don't know. He has a this isn't just oh, I knew this girl in high school. We got married early and stuff like that. And then this was this tragedy that happened. This is he really loves her. They had a strong connection. And actually the guy that I think his name's Cosgrove or something like that, the dude that plays Matt, actually, I'll give him a compliment for once. Does some pretty good acting in this scene. He talks about he calls up the radio station because Kelly's volunteering at the radio station, and he gives this speech about how when they first met, basically how he explains what it was like. You feel you're never going to be yourself again. You shut off that part of your life. You just float through or whatever, and then one day you're sitting there, you're drinking a coffee, and someone comes into your life, and it feels oh, I can live again. Mm-hmm. And it's so it is really, and the way he delivers it, it's really emotional. So
yeah, it's a very sad situation, the whole thing. I think him and Kelly will get back together. I mean, she's obviously very...
They're teasing that, and they're teasing her and Dylan, too. I don't know exactly what direction they're going to go in.
That's true.
But they are kind of teasing both.
Yeah, I guess Kelly's always got to be torn between two men. I don't really get why the writers feel that plotline has to be used over and over.
Two lovers.
Because, I mean,
feeling like a fool. Loving you both was breaking all the rules.
Okay. Mm-hmm. If you recall,
yes, her
and Dylan got together. Actually, I guess it was him between two women because he was with Brenda and she was helping him cheat on Brenda.
That was one thing.
In high school,
there was a love triangle between her and Brenda and Dylan, and then there was a love triangle between her and Dylan and Brandon.
Mm-hmm. And now there's going to be a love triangle between her and Dylan and Gina, and her and Dylan and Matt.
Yeah, it's like it's a love pentagon.
And like Gina, though, it's not really a love triangle because he pretty much admits he's just using her for sex. Like, she knows he is. She calls him out on it all the time. And when he's talking to Kelly, he says as much.
Yeah, it started in last episode, and it's like because he this is part of Matt's storyline. He calls the Bellage Hotel, and he's like, I want your finest hotel room. And he's making all these plans and everything. She walks in, she's like, oh my God, Dylan, seriously? He's like, yeah, put it under Matt and whatever Matt's wife's name is. And she's like, she gets all pissed, and he's like, what's wrong? I'm doing something nice for Matt. He's done a lot for me or whatever. And at first you think it's because he helped him with the court case and everything like that. But it also, it comes out, and this makes sense, where it's like, Dylan lost his wife. His wife was killed, and Matt lost his wife and got her back. So, like, he kind of feels like, hey, I want to help them out, or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, he's like, why are you so pissed? And she's like, well, I guess because if you rented that room for us, you'd rent it by the hour.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't argue.
No, he's
a very honest person, I think.
Later in the episode, he's talking to Kelly about Matt and everything that's going on with that situation. And Gina comes up, and she's like, can I talk to you for a second? And then she talks to him about something that we'll talk about in a minute. But she's like, what are you two talking about? And he's like, just personal stuff. And it's like, yeah, he can talk to Kelly.
Right.
And fuck Gina. Like, that's like, it really does seem like that's all he's using her.
Yeah, I mean, that's not an okay response to somebody who's supposed to be your girlfriend. You shouldn't have personal stuff you can't talk about that you're talking about some other women.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. And then, like, he was talking about how he'd had trouble, getting out of bed, and part of what gets him out of bed now is fucking Gina, basically.
Yeah.
To the Kelly. And while they were on this walk, and Kelly saw they both saw this car.
Thunderbird.
I think it's the same car he got rid of that his wife was killed in, or at least it's just an old classic car. Okay.
It's a car he's
always wanted it.
He mentions that his grandfather had a car like that.
So Kelly fucking buys it for him and puts a little sign that on like a red piece of paper that says, this will get you up in the morning.
It's a ribbon.
A ribbon.
It's the end of the ribbon.
And you follow the ribbon to the garage, and there's this car.
Yeah,
like,
with a big red ribbon around it.
She bought him a car. He's a millionaire. Mm-hmm. She's not. What the fuck?
It's so nice to watch this show where rich people just buy each other cars and shit like that.
Right. I mean, do you think that anybody's lives are really like that, where they could just do... I mean, like, probably. I guess it's... And it must be... The people writing the show must think that that's normal shit.
I guess.
Because that is how they present it.
Yeah.
It's not normal. No. People don't get cars as presents. I know they do commercials where you see cars with big red bows on them. That does not happen.
I always want to see the after of that, though. It's like, how much was this lease?
Right.
They just get into an argument on Christmas. But yeah, like, and the note attached to the ribbon that she slips under his door, and like you said, he follows it to the garage, says, maybe this will get you up in the morning. Mm-hmm. Which is like, oh, okay, Gina's not good enough to get up at 4 in the morning, I guess?
I mean, I guess that's the implication.
But he said, because he said, I'm looking for something to get me up in the morning or whatever. He says it was community service. Now it's having sex with Gina.
Well, you got to find something.
Yeah, I guess so.
He doesn't need a job, so.
Yeah, no kidding. And he just gets to stay at, what's his name's house?
Yeah, Brandon.
No, Brandon's not on the show anymore.
No, but he owns the house.
But that's not where he's staying.
Oh, I thought he was staying in the Walsh house.
No, he's staying with fucking, what's his name? Brian Austin Green.
David. Oh, David. Okay.
They're staying together.
Relax.
That's been established.
I can't keep track of all this shit.
But anyways, that's what's going on with them, with Gina and Dylan, and I assume something's going to come to a head there.
Yeah, they're going to break up.
She does. That's what she confronts him about is the car thing. She's like, oh, she wants to get you up in the morning or whatever, and she's like, just when you and her get back together or whatever, just let me know so that I can bow out or whatever. Yeah. It's really sad.
Have some self-respect, Gina, and just break up with him.
She really should.
It's kind of depressing watching them.
And then he comes out because she doesn't know what the fucking note means or whatever. They go out of the peach pit, and he's like, "Hey, this is what she bought for me or whatever. So I figured we could take a drive or whatever." And she's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Yeah, up the Pacific Coast Highway, find a place to pull over and have sex."
Yeah, like what an asshole. Does he not get it yet? Like. Mm-hmm. At least be like, there's a great restaurant I know up there. Right. At least have some pretense that you're trying to do anything nice for her.
And she's like, well, she takes the keys, she gets in the driver's seat. She's like, that's going to be difficult, though, to do that. And he's like, oh, why? And she's like, because, fucking you won't be able to catch up or whatever. And she pulls out and just leaves the car.
Yeah, she leaves with his new car. And she's all smiles. Mm-hmm. You're stealing a car. Yeah. Like, that's not a great idea.
He's all smiles, too, though. Yeah. These people are insane.
Yeah.
Is that car even insured?
Probably
not. Did he go to the DMV and get all the paperwork done?
Nah. Oh, my God.
Ridiculous.
So, they were really happy still with each other for some reason in the scene. So I feel like she's just fucking with him and she'll bring his car back.
Yeah, she's not really going to steal it.
Like, if it were me, I would totally steal it. I would steal it and hide it somewhere and he'd never know where.
Take it to a chop shop. Just get some money for it.
Right?
There you go, Dylan. Not getting up in the morning anymore. She saw him through heroin addiction. I mean, that's pretty fucked up that he's like... treating her like this. I don't like this.
No.
Like, I like Dylan on the show. The show's better with Dylan. And for the most part, his character is becoming what he was again. The, like, zen kind of like, nothing bothers me. It's the guy, or whatever. But I don't like this aspect of what they're doing with him. Like, actually have him commit to something. And I think they'd be good together.
Yeah. I mean, they would if he was part of the relationship, but he's not.
But the final storyline is David and Donna and Noah.
Yeah.
And Gina to a degree.
Yeah.
Gina continues her fucking with Noah, being like, oh, Noah, like, apparently you can get some good sleep, knowing what happened between us or whatever. Like, you don't feel guilty or whatever. You're lying to Donna. Maybe you should tell her. Oh, maybe not, though.
Yeah, it's fucked up. She's a diabolical, like, evil genius or whatever.
She's better than any of the other ones that they tried to make the villain. She's better than Valerie ever was.
Oh, yeah.
Valerie was so, like, obvious with shit and stuff. She really, like, uses psychological stuff to get into people's heads. And it's so easy to manipulate Noah. Noah's like, oh, I guess I should tell Donna, though, huh?
Yeah, even though she says, make sure you don't tell Donna. That's exactly how she does it. She uses reverse psychology. Mm-hmm. So him and Donna, he said he was going to tell her, I think. And then instead
he talks to David. And he was like, you know what happened between me and Gina or whatever? And he's like, yeah, you kissed, or whatever. We saw the kiss. It was on the cheek, by the way, in the thing. And he's like, yeah, but maybe it was more than that, though. And David's like, I don't want to hear this. And he's like, but I need your advice. He's like, what should I do? Should I tell her? And he's like, I cannot tell you. Like, you can see him being like, I am not a neutral party in this. I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good of him because he could have given him shit advice.
Yeah, exactly. But instead, he just doesn't say anything, and he's like, I got to tell her or whatever. And so he starts talking to Donna, and she's like, what did she say? Because they're talking about somebody else, and I don't remember who they're talking about. I don't
remember.
Oh, they're talking about Matt and Kelly, because Matt called, and she's like, yeah, Kelly's so upset about it or whatever. He's married and shit like that. And she's like, she goes, it could be worse. So, like, he could have cheated on her or whatever and stuff like that. And he'd be like, Noah's like, oh, that would be unforgivable, huh? And she's like, oh, yeah, totally. Completely unforgivable. Only fucking monsters do that. And she's like, what do you want to talk to me about? And he's like, move in with me. And she's like, oh, my God, yes.
And so, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and then Gina gets in his head again.
Yep. Well, Gina tells him the truth, right?
No, not yet.
Not yet. No.
She gets in his head again and says, like, oh, okay, you guys are moving in together. That's great, like, I guess you can't be, guilty or whatever. Just get rid of that guilty conscience. And she like just walks away, and he's like, I got to do it. So then he talks to Donna, and he's like, we had sex that night, and she goes, we're done. Like she is so done with him. Yep.
And she just, walks out, and then later Gina tells him the truth.
Yeah. Then he's like. She goes, oh, you and Donna broke up. And he's like, yeah, we broke up or whatever. And she's like, well, I don't know why, like, why I should break up with you. I don't get it, considering we didn't have sex. And he's like, what? And she's like, no, we didn't have sex. And he's like, but you said. And she was like, I never said we had sex.
Yeah,
like,
did you ever hear the word sex come out of my mouth?
Yeah, she's like,
what a bitch.
I know. She's like, your imagination, we wanted each other or whatever. And like, but whatever your imagination, your guilty conscience told you, whatever, like
that's not on me.
Right, exactly. It's very deceitful.
Yeah.
So then he's trying to get a hold of her, and he can't.
Yeah.
Because she's ignoring him. In the meantime, she guests on David's show. Mm-hmm. And she pulls a U.
What do you mean?
Well, they're talking to a caller and everything. They're talking about stuff and everything. And the caller says something like, about exes or whatever. And she's like, oh, yeah, like David and I used to date and everything and stuff. And, you can still be friends with exes and everything. And she's talking and stuff like that. And then she starts to trail off. And then she's just like kind of sitting there like,
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, I do that.
David's like, hey, time for a break or whatever. And he's like, what's going on? And she's like, I was just thinking about the time that we were doing the radio show in high school, and I started breathing hard or whatever, like she was
panicking.
She was panicking, and everyone thought that we were fucking on air.
And she's like, and you were so protective of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that's when he says, hey, I got an idea for a new topic. Can ex-lovers be friends? I think we're living proof or whatever. Let's talk about it. And it's like, you are, because you've been friends for a while. Mm-hmm. But Noah does end up, after the show and everything, Noah does come to the beach house and is like, hey, we didn't have sex. And she's like, why would the fuck would I believe you?
Yeah.
And he's like, ask Gina. She's like, oh yeah, Gina, the fucking liar. Why would I believe her? And he goes, no, it didn't happen. Like, just say, I don't know why he doesn't just say, look, I was drunk. Mm-hmm. I don't remember anything that happened that night. I was in a dark place that time. Gina was making illusions that we had sex, and then later told me, oh, we didn't have sex. So I thought we did.
Right. So
I thought I had sex with Gina, and I wanted to be honest with you, but then she said we didn't.
I'm glad that he's not articulate enough to have said that, though, because of what happens next.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because... And the thing is like, I think she says, I don't even care what happened. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the fact that I can't believe you either way, basically. Mm-hmm. And I think what she's saying is, like, she's lost the trust, one. And two, like, he got blackout drunk and raped Valerie. Mm-hmm. He got blackout drunk and thought he had sex with Gina. Like, it's enough now.
Yeah.
There's too much of this shit going on. And it's like... If he thought he could even have had sex with Gina, that's a problem. And I think that's what she's saying more than anything else.
Yeah, agreed.
But then Donna's like just sitting watching TV or whatever. There's a knock on the door. And I knew right away. I was like, that's going to be David. And the door opens and it's David. And David's like, hey, I said that fucking lovers can be friends. I lied. And then he just starts attacking her.
Yep, so yay, they're going to get back together.
But he didn't lie, because they've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, all of these ex-lovers have been friends for a long time.
True.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's not how real life works. But it's a show.
So I do believe that they are going to get back together. I don't know what's going to happen with Noah. Kills himself. I don't know. Maybe he'll leave the show.
I want him to leave so bad. I want the fucking Muppet gone.
I want Matt and his wife to just leave to go to Venice and never come back. Mm-hmm. And I want Noah to just, go to find his rapist brother or whatever. to do something and to leave, right?
Yeah.
And then we can just have Donna and David and Kelly and, I don't know, Nat and Dylan.
Donna, David, Kelly.
And Steve.
Yeah. And
and Janet. Steve's always doing his own thing. Like, he's barely part of
Gina.
He's barely part of the cast. Gina can stay.
Yeah, I like Gina. All right.
But yeah, that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people where they can find Gina.
So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yes.
And share the tapes with your friends.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.